choice, whatever you were drinking.
I got it right here, see?
Oh, who's better than you?
I'm still not seeing that.
It's
live.
still, it takes a minute to
Yeah.
kick in.
Hey,
Stan.
hey, meeting is being live streamed, okay?
All right, I just got a notification. Ryan Hilligoss is live now. Oh,
Let me go to my page, and then I will stream to or share to Spring Nuts.
Are you going to share it? Okay, good. Okay, so if you're going to share it, it's fine. Then I don't have to do it.
Okay. It seems like the last couple of times when I've shared it to Spring Nuts, we haven't had the issue with the comments and stuff. So
we're the most comments on Spring Nuts, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm sure Ryan gets on
Yeah.
his as well because he's got a. But the views after, I don't. If you saw the numbers that combined, like Ryan was saying, these things after the fact get like 10,000 views.
Yep. All right, we're on Spring Nuts. We are on Spring Nuts.
all right, we should be good.
Good.
Okay, so let me go to Spring Nuts so I can just see it.
Vinny, usually we wait a few minutes to give people a chance to kind of start watching on Facebook, and then Howie will roll, get us started, and off we go.
Right.
But they can hear us now, so don't say anything.
Unless it's about Stan, then you can talk all the crap you want.
All you want.
No, I'm not saying a word.
All right.
Stan's got it. Hey, Stan, who are those guys behind you?
Look at that. I tried filming with you. I still cut your top of your head off. I couldn't.
Oh, that's all right.
But I love that photo. We'll talk about that later. But yeah. And,
oh, you were actually blocking somebody. It's like you're the third guy now.
Yeah, I know.
Stan, nobody knows this, but Stan was one of the drummers in one of the bands.
That would be one of the that would be a great trivia question.
One of the early bands.
Yeah. At the symposium, which we'll talk about that. I don't know. It was so great, but I kept thinking, I want to see that photo. The three drummers, get them together. And they did. I think Danny Clinch took that photo. So.
Well, Eileen took one.
Oh, Eileen. Okay. But I thought, very rare.
I wanted to get that photo myself, because Billy Smith took.
Yeah, one at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
At the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I remember.
We were all there.
Yeah.
And so everybody was there. So I said, hey, we got to do that again.
Yeah.
So I asked everybody, and they said, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we did it. They whisked us away. I don't know why.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. You all three sign it, and then that would be neat.
I'll sign anything. Hey.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. When Vinny's on our tours, I always promote it. Vinny will be happy to sign anything you want.
Yeah.
And he always is. I always give him a couple.
But he had postcards that he was giving out to us the day I was on there.
I always give him black Sharpies too.
Yeah, I still got 100 of them. Don't worry.
He's good with that.
No, I got them all. I'm gonna give them all back to you soon.
I'm sure we'll be doing it again.
All right.
Where'd Howie go? All right, we want to get.
He may be corralling Julie here.
All right.
Good evening, everybody. Laura and Pete, Outlaws are checking in. Jim Leonardis. I don't think I know Jim.
I know
Jim. That name. Do you know Jim?
I know Jim. Yes.
Okay. Hello, Jim. Hello, Norm. Vinny, my friend Norm Ogilvy lives in Monmouth, and he's seen you a couple times with your, what do you call it now? The wonderful winos.
With the winos. Hey.
He sent me a couple of videos of you guys doing Lake Marie, and I'm a huge John Prine fan, so like he knew that, and he sent that to me. So that was I love that.
We do Lake Marie down here where I am in Florida. My friend Tony Hall and myself, and he sings it, and we do that. We do a few John Prine songs actually.
He's one of my favorites. He's in my top 3 or 4 all the time.
No, he's a good one.
Howie, you ready?
Were you corralling Julie or were you?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
so Julie's computer's doing her thing, but she may. If you see her, she's trying to join. She's almost like there.
Oh, she's
so if
there.
you see
Yep.
her, just let her. Oh, there you are. See, as
There
I
she
said.
is.
There we go.
Here she comes.
Does she look great?
Yeah. Very black and white.
Right.
So yeah. Here she comes.
Do you see me yet?
No, we
Not
hear
yet.
you.
We hear you fine, loud and clear.
Hit your video on the bottom left.
I am.
Is it rolling, Bob?
Is this thing on?
Bob,
Hey, I see you guys.
All right, we don't see you. We hear you.
It's only because my computer's from 2011. Hi, Vinny.
Hello. Here you are. I don't see you.
Julie, I thought Santa Claus was bringing you a new computer for Christmas this year.
You don't have your video on.
What does that mean?
So, Vinny, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but you have a band that you play with when you're down there in Florida?
Just me and a guitar fella. We're called the Hula Hula Boys.
Hula Hula Boys.
Yeah, it's just me and Tony Hall. Tony Hall, he's been playing down here. He came like 30 years ago for spring break and never left. You know, hey, there you are. You know,
Hi.
and he keeps playing down here. He plays 3 nights a week at this place, Jimmy Guana's. We play there sometimes, but he's been playing there for 25 years. So he's pretty established down here. But me and him, we go out and do it every once in a while. You know.
Nice.
All right, Howie, take it away.
There we go. Okay, we're good. So I want to welcome everybody to another special edition of Spring Night Cafe. I know we keep popping these in, but we got a really special guest today. I know everyone loves this guy. Okay, he's a legend in every sense of the word, as not only as an E Street Band member or a musician, but as a person as well. I want to thank Mr. Mad Dog Vini Lopez for joining us today.
I'm glad to be here. Be fun.
I don't have to tell everybody how great this guy is. I just wanted to, introduce everybody. We have, of course, Ryan Hilligoss is our MC and our, main moderator, and he will be taking the helm from us. I have my beautiful sidekick, Jules, here. Finally, we can see her, and we got the all-knowing, all-loving Stan Goldstein here. with the best backgrounds that there are on this podcast.
3 drummers. Yes.
Yes, he always surprises me. He's got better ones than every time we have a thing, he has a different one, so that's great. But that being said, thank you, Vinny, for being here. We're honored to have you, and I'm going to hand it over to Ryan to take over, and let's have a great time.
Hey, like I said, it's my pleasure. Thank you. Cool.
Really appreciate you being here, Vinny. I've had the pleasure of meeting you myself. Just as a quick side note, private note, the day you were on the bus tour with Stan, we had, I don't know, Stan, 50 people, 55 people? Vinny was incredibly generous with his time. Talk to everybody, pictures, sign anything, whatever. So Vinny, I was very impressed with your relationship, your communication, your openness to all the fans and everybody that was around you.
Well, people that go on the bus tours, they want to know what's going on down there, and I can just show them small parts of what I did there, and all them other guys were there too. So it was good, and they get to see it, just little stories. Driving from Asbury Park to the Tradewinds up in Seabright, there's all little stories. So and they enjoy it. And I tell them if we're in a spot, I say, hey, here was this happening. you know, and I enjoy talking to people. You know, I got a story about that, talking to people. When I was a kid, with my grandmother, my grandfather, my aunt, and my uncle, they took me to Symphony Hall in Newark. I don't know, I was 9 years old, and I saw Buck Owens
Wow.
and the Buckaroos, you know, and they were the real ones. And at the end of the show, everybody's standing and clapping, and the curtain closed, and everybody starts leaving. Well, what Buck Owens do? He came out, sat on the edge of the stage, and talked to everybody in the place that wanted to talk to him.
Hmm.
And when I was a kid, I went, wow.
Hmm.
You know, and to this day, I try and do that. I like talking to the people, giving them an idea, you know.
That's awesome. Well, that's what I was going to ask you, is that if you could just kind of give us a little bit of your background as far as you grew up in Neptune. So if you want to tell us a little bit about your family, your upbringing.
Well, um, I just did a trip to Cody, Wyoming, because my great grandfather and my great grandmother were in Buffalo Bill Cody Wild West Circus.
Wow.
Okay. And they did certain things in the circus. The Asbury Press did a whole article on him in 1931, I think it was. And he told stories in that article, which I have some of it. They can't find it, I don't think. But it's quite a, you know, he hung out with Annie Oakley, told stories about the Indians. He was an Indian from New Mexico.
Mm.
So, but we went out there to see if there was anything, and there wasn't. But my cousin has some paintings that he did that they want in the Cody Museum. So that's something that's going on. But that's part of my background.
Hmm.
My grandfather, my grandmother, they really brought me up. My mother and father had problems, so I lived with them. Good Catholic boy. That's what I did. You know, I
So
don't know how many Our Fathers I've said. You know?
you grew up in Neptune and you attended Neptune High School along
Yeah.
with a couple other people that we might know.
Well, Gary Talent was in my class.
Huh.
John Lyon was in my class. You know, outside. I mean, it's outside.
That's crazy.
You know, we were all outcasts. You know, we had beetle boots and, you know, longer hair, and they didn't like that. You know, we all finally kind of got together. You know, we kind of grew up together, but we went to different schools at times. So all good, you know. And them guys, they did all right for themselves.
Well, you've done all right for yourself as well.
Well,
So
I kinda,
how did you get started in music? Did your grandparents have any kind of musical background?
well, actually, um, my grandfather, my great grandfather's, you know, son, he played the banjo. In fact, I have his banjo, and he could play the piano, right? And my father, which I didn't know till, but I was in bed and I heard a commotion in the front room of our house where we lived in Neptune when I was a little kid. Now I don't know, 7, 8 years old. And I went out and there was guitar guys, and my father was playing the harmonica. And not long after I peeked around the corner, they made me get back in bed. You know, I didn't get to hang out at all. You know, so but you know, it was good. And then later on, I went to a distant cousin of mine to his house, and there was a drum set up in it. It was all glistening and beautiful and stuff. I didn't play drums, you know. I got in a drum and bugle corps. I played the bugle, you know. So when I was in 8th grade, okay, went to Holy Spirit School in Asbury Park. My good friend, who is my doctor today, Augie Rioli. Oh yeah, he's my doctor. But we were getting done school one day, and he goes, "Hey, this guy's having a teenage dance at the USO club." do you want to go? It's going to start at 6 o'clock. And we got out of school at 3. I just took a regular bus home. They said, Grandpa said it was okay to do that. So we went over there, and I was walking in. And I said, hey, you told me it was a DJ. What's going on? He goes, oh, you don't forget, we're in 8th grade. He says, oh, no, he plays drums along with records. And it was this guy, Buzzy. I went in there, and I went, holy mackerel there. And I got a job with him. He showed me how to hold drumsticks. Every once in a while, he had to go to the bathroom. So he'd say, sit down, you play. I always have something always. So I'd get to play a song, to maybe once or twice during the night. And that's how I really learned how to play, by listening to records that he gave me. Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother story. But that's how I got started doing it. And he actually introduced me to Billy Chinick and Sonny Ken. So goes back a ways. And Buzzy's gone now. God rest his soul.
So were you playing? You went from the bugle corps to learning the drums. Were you in bands in high school, or were
Well,
you?
I was in high school, 1965. I guess that's my sophomore year, something like that. We had Sonny and the Starfires, and we were like the house band at the Hullabaloo in Asbury Park. That was like the first band I was ever in. I auditioned to be in Billy Chinick's band, but he says, hey, do Wipeout. Everybody wants to hear Wipeout. And I looked at him, I said, well, hey, I sing, that's what I like singing. I said, I sing. Let's do a song I can sing and play along with you. He goes, I said, everybody wants to do Wipeout. And he was a big guy. I was a skinny white guy. That's what I do, So I said, no. He goes, all right, you're done. Pack up your stuff and leave. So I got fired before I played when I auditioned for Bill. But later on, I was in Bill's bands. Later on, through time, we all coincide,
And did you remind him, hey, you
No,
fired me at one point
he
in
didn't
time?
need any reminding. No, no. Uh-uh.
So when did you start first going to the upstage?
Right around 19. Well, my Uncle Joe, strangely enough, now he was a mortician. He's long gone, but he owned a place out in Collingswood, out Route 33 out there, called the Pixies Inn. And we played there, Sonny and the Starfires. And another few other bands played there of musicians that are still here, and we still play together sometimes. But Margaret Potter, they had a band called Margaret and the Distractions, and they also played there. Now, her husband was Tom Potter, and they were the owners of the Upstage. So he while I was there, and I'm young, and he goes, hey, we're opening a place for musicians to come and jam. You ought to come down there. And he told me about it. And sure enough, we went, and there was Tom. And then that started the Upstage whole deal. I became a house drummer, Big Bobby Williams, a house drummer. Nobody played with their bands there, except my band went after that was 1966, 67 was the Moment of Truth with Gary Towne and stuff. We played after we got done our gig at 3 a.m. somewhere down the shore. We would go to the Upstage and do a set there. We were like one of the only bands that they let do that. Margaret's band always opened, so But it was fun. Upstage teaches you a lot.
Stan, is the building still there, or is it not there anymore?
No,
What
I
is the
think the
situation?
building's still there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. It's now an apartments are there. But
Yeah.
if you look all the way up top, it says upstage.
Yeah.
And it's one of the interesting things, I point out in my tours, most people just walk by this place and have no idea the history that happened there.
Oh
And
yeah.
there is a little plaque on the side of the building, but outside of that, you walk by, but the staircase is still there. And it does say upstage apartments on the door and all the way up top. So, yeah, it's right
Oh
on
yeah.
Goldstein Avenue in Asbury Park.
We hauled when we were Steel Mill, we played there. We hauled the B3 up those stairs to the top floor. Let me tell you what, it took us all to get it up there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had to get it down. Holy mackerel there, Andy.
Did Danny Federici have his own B3? Was it his?
The B3? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, the B3. He had that. When I first met him, he played a Quarterbox, which was an accordion, an electric accordion that had an amplifier attached to it. But then he plays the B3.
So you knew Gary and Southside from school, obviously.
Yes.
Do you remember first time meeting Danny? How did you meet Danny? Where did he come in?
Well, Danny. Well, I told you, remember I auditioned for Bill Chinnick and I wouldn't do Wipeout? He was the keyboard player in Bill's band. So that's where I met him. And then later on, the next time I saw him really was Bill asked me to come audition, see if I wanted to play in his band. And he lived up in North Jersey, and I went up there. And it was Bill and Wendell, John, and there was Danny on the keyboards. And I played like a few songs with him. And I said, "That's it. You're in the band." I said, "Okay." And we had a band, and we were called the Downtown Tangiers Rock and Rhythm and Blues Band. The TD, TDRR, and BB.
I think the acronym is just as long as the name of the band.
Oh, of course,
Downtown Tangiers Band.
Downtown Tangiers Rock and Rhythm and Blues Band.
Wow.
So that's 1967, that band with Chinnick. And we actually toured for the Electric Circus during that time. We did 40 dates out on the road, Electric Circus tour. We were the rock band. There were mimes, there were dancers, it was pretty incredible the way that show was. Electric Circus was in the Greenwich Village there in New York City. Right.
When did you first meet Carl Tinker West?
Well, in 66, 67, it's all around the same time, 68 in there. It was with Gary Talent was in the band, Ricky D, and Tom Wario, and we were called A Moment of Truth. And we were playing at the Dewdrop Inn in Spring Lake, New Jersey, Route 71. And we played there a few different times, but just one time, up comes this guy. He's got this scraggly old mustache sticking out like this, and floppy old hat on. And he says, "Lopez." What? He says, "No." He says, "What's your name?" And I said, "Well, Vinny Lopez." And from then on, I was Lopez. He didn't call me Vincent or Vinny or anything. From then on, I was Lopez. So he says, "Hey, you guys are pretty good, but you don't do any original music, do you?" First things he says, And I said, "No, we don't really do any of that." And he goes, "Well, you guys are good, but if you ever start playing original music, you come talk to me." and he didn't have a card or nothing, but he told me he had the surfboard shop, and I knew the surfboard shop. I didn't really know him, and it was the moment of truth. That was the moment of truth. So then I went to the Tangiers band with Chinook, and we were doing all originals. But Bill was his own guy. He didn't want to meet no tinker. Bill did all his own jazz, And after that band broke up, because Bill and the bass player had an argument, me and Danny wanted to play together, and that's when we met Bruce, and that's when I asked Bruce. I said, "Do you do any writing? Do you write any songs?" And Bruce said, "Yeah, I write a couple." And I said, "Well, hey, let's jam." And we jammed. And then I said, "I know this guy Tinker." He said, "If we do original music, come look him up. Maybe he can help us." And he did. All of a sudden, we had a car, a truck. We had a place to rehearse, place to stay if we needed to. All of a sudden, so Daddy took over. Tinker, he was cool. In fact, Tinker now this Thursday coming up right now at the Orlando Convention Center, Tinker is getting inducted into the Surfing Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And Karen's going, Dawn and I are going, a whole bunch of his oldest friends are going. So, and there's, I don't know who else is getting inducted this year, but we're going to find out. We're going on Thursday. So, but that's going to be something for me. Because me and Tinker built my surfboard. My surfboard's going to be in the archives, in Springsteen archives. It's somewhere there now.
When did you move into the surfboard factory, Vinny? That was a little later, though, right? Around 1970, 69?
Well, yeah, it was a little later than that, but we started rehearsing there. We rehearsed in that front room. It was a little front room off the main office. And then that's where somebody broke in one night and stole my drums out of that front room. I don't know how they do it. You could see where they grabbed my bass drum and that stuff and left the cymbal because you could see where it hit the door. So they had to get in and out quick. I don't think because Alice the dog was there. There was a dog that was in the back, a big, mean, gets red-eyed German Shepherd dog was there, and they got out of there quick. But whoever did it just took my drums. I mean, the guitar amps were there, the guitars were there, the PA amps were all in there, in that little bitty room. So it forced me to get new drums. It's okay.
So Child was the first band that you were trying to write original songs and form the band?
Yeah, Child. Bruce wrote a whole bunch of good stuff. We did what he'd bring the song in and we just do it. If there was anything intricate, him and Danny would take care of it. Little Vinny was the bass player then, not Roslin. I mean, Vinny Roslin, not Van Zandt. He didn't come in until later on, So after California, but we're a pretty good little band.
Then tell the story of how you changed the name to Steel Mill and why that was done.
Well, we had heard. I don't know who heard it. Maybe Tinker heard it. I don't know, but there was a band on Long Island. But now I think it was not Long Island. I think it was a band from England, because I looked this up, called Steel Mill. At around the same time. So we didn't care. We didn't know about them guys. But there was a band in England called Steel Mill around the same time. band Child was in, I guess they were in Long Island. I started thinking about Steel Mill there, and then the band out in London popped up. But, it's all coinky-dink. But we didn't want to have the same name as somebody that's already recording and stuff. So we went to the Inkwell and figured it out. We all sat there, came up with names, And Steel Mill seemed to make the grade. Not Locomotive. I'm glad it was Steel Mill, because Locomotive was one of the names.
So Child became Steel Mill, which became the Bruce Springsteen Band, which became Dr. Zoom and the Sonic Boom for a very short time.
There was a couple gigs.
There was a couple names of the bands that I'd never even heard of before, so I don't know where these are coming from, but just a series of events. So it's you, Danny, Bruce, Benny Roslin.
Well, no. See, at that point, now, if you're talking about, after when we went to San Francisco with Child, or we might have been Steel Mill at that point. Yeah, we were Steel Mill then. Vini and Bruce, and Vini started doing stuff. He got hooked up with these groupies, seriously, and it became a problem, and we had to get a new bass player, and we didn't know anybody. We were in San Francisco, and little Vinny was one of my best buddies here. You got to realize this. Now, Bruce came up to me. I wasn't going to suggest anything because Vinny's my pal. But Bruce came up to me and he goes, "Hey, we got to get a new bass player." And then I thought, "Oh, geez, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, blah, blah, blah." So I said, "Well, who do you want to get?" He goes, "I don't know." So I looked at him and I knew Van Zant was his friend because Van Zant, Middletown, and the Castiles played at the Hullabaloo up there. I mean, the Teen Debut. And I just, now I forgot what I was talking about. The Teen Debut threw me off. You asked me a question.
I was asking you about who was in the band.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So at that point, I asked, Bruce gave me Steve's number, and I called him. And I asked him if he wanted to, play bass and Steel Mill. And he said, "I'm a guitar player." I said, "Same 4 strings are on top of the guitar. You can do it, Do you want to do it?" And he said, I'll give it a try. So we drove back across the country, and now Van Zant's in the band. But after Steel Mill was gone and the Bruce Springsteen band came, Steve wasn't in that outfit. That was Gary Talent playing bass. And Danny and me and Bruce. So that's how that changed. And then later on, Steve came in. Later on.
At what point in time, where does Clarence play into this? You had dealings with Clarence prior to Bruce's involvement?
Well, see, Clarence was playing with Norman Selden. Okay.
Wow.
And Tinker had, they were the Joyful Noise, they were called. And Tinker had a girlfriend. And now we were playing at the Pandemonium down in, right where we were staying at the Surfboard Factory, right up the street, right down the end. So Karen came in and said, "Hey, you guys, there's this sax player you should go here." And it was and me and Tinker and Bruce and Danny drove down to Bayville to Spirits Inn on Route 9. And we walked in, and there they were playing. And Clarence was up on stage. He was doing a solo. We stayed for like 10 minutes and left. Drove back up to where we were. It's a ride. But soon after that, Clarence came we were the Bruce Springsteen band, and Clarence came and jammed with us at the Student Prince. And then when we did the first album, he eventually came in there. So he just kind of filtered in, but you know, we kind of knew him here and there along the way. But, you know, he played with Norman. You know, we robbed him.
I remember reading Clarence's book. He said it was one of the toughest days of his life when he had to walk in and tell Norman, "Hey, man, I'm going a different direction here."
He played with Norman. I mean, you know, Norman was like the boss then. You know, he was. You know, he booked us all when we were kids. Oh, the band battle that we were in with the Castiles, Norman Selden, when he was like 18, booked that, or 17.
Wow.
25 bands. He was doing promotion, and he was something, Norman. Powerhouse back in those days. Still is a powerhouse. You know, I talk to him all the time.
You post on Spring Nuts a few times a week about his gigs. He's
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
A few times a day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, well,
I was trying to be nice.
now I see him in a new light.
Yeah.
But he's, you know, he's serious about it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Stan, I don't know. Like, I know the name, I know the involvement with the band, but what does he play? Is he a guitarist, a piano player?
Keyboard player, right, Vini?
Keyboard.
Yeah, keyboard.
He
He's
does
in
that dueling pianist, you know. Does dueling pianists.
Yeah.
He just did an album. Oh God, I got it here, Remembrance or something. He sent it to me. We're on it. The winos are on there, but he put horns on, did all this jazz. You know, pretty cool.
So Vinny, can we go back a little bit to when you switched from the bugle corps, you
Yep.
learned the drums. Did you have a kit at home? What kind of influences, you know, were driving you as a drummer when you first got started?
Well, when I started working with Buzzy, they were oldies then, right? Hey, they often call me Speedo, but my real name is Mr. O, right? That kind of stuff. Do stop songs. In high school, we go to many high school dances I did with Buzzy, right? Drums and records. I just made sure his records got put away and all that stuff. That was my job, you know, to put the stuff away. But all them kids and all the dancing, and you know, it just changed my whole life doing that. Every once in a while, getting to play. Biggest fight I ever saw was I sat down for one time at the USO club, and see, it was the USO club, so there was all these teenage, you know, greaser guys there, and then there was all these young soldiers there, and there was girls there, and there was soldiers girls there, and it was a giant fight. And Buzzy put me on the drums, and I was playing "Be My Baby." Boom, boom, boom. You know that, and the fight broke out. And it was a pile of people fighting, soldiers and young guys, in front of me. And Buzzy came back. He goes, "Don't stop, just keep playing." He kept it rolling, and soon the fight stopped. After we got out from under the tables, we left.
Speaking of fights, Vinny, Bruce wrote in his autobiography, I believe, the night of the moon landing.
Yes, Stan, I was actually going to get to that. Vinny, if you'll indulge me for a minute, I actually went back. The first time I read Born to Run, like, that's one of the stories that, like, has stuck in my mind ever since then. Yeah, July 20th, 1969, you guys had a gig 6 days a week. You were supposed to start playing at 10:56, which is when the moon landing was happening. And if you'll just indulge me for a minute, this is like one of the best stories. Ultimately, we decided half the crowd wanted to watch the TV, half the crowd wanted you guys to play. Ultimately, we decided, fuck the moon landing. That's just a trick of the man. Fuck you, Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins. Let's rock. Myself, Mad Dog, and Danny were in favor of boogieing. The holdout was bass player Little Vinny Roslin, a bit of a sensitive techie, a man of science who said we were full of shit, cretins, ignoring history, and he would have no part of it. He put his bass down and walked off stage. He was right, but the line had been drawn. A small black and white television in the corner of the bar was all they were broadcasting. It was surrounded by a small group of pro-moon landing clientele glued to the fuzzy images being sent across 240,000 miles of space. The moon landers were all huddled over their stew at the bar near us. Finally, Mad Dog had it. He shouted into his microphone, "If somebody doesn't fucking turn that TV off, I'm going to come over and put my foot through it." Upon hearing Vinny's throwdown, son of Baldy Hush Puppies, which is a fantastic nickname, came barreling around the bar and explained to Vinny that it was his TV and Vinny had better shut the fuck up or we'd all be out on our asses. Mad Dog Lopez did not and does not cotton to such talk. Attired typically and eccentrically in a Chinese robe and nothing else, Vinny managed to get in a minor scuffle with son of Baldy Hush Puppies. We were fired on the spot. 6 nights of a good paying, close to home bar gig vanished into thin air. Up Vinny's Chinese robe. Up Vinny's Chinese robe.
Yeah, and I had shorts on. Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit of the taste
Baldy
of
Hush Puppies. That's
Baldy
right.
Hush Puppies.
That's right. Yeah, he was our lawyer. No,
Nice
hey,
job, Ryan, on the audiobook.
But little Vinny, he had a long cord. He made it over by the bar. He could still play. No, he could still play. I just wanted him up on the stage, really.
So speaking of that, where does I read that Clive Davis gave you, like, I don't know where the genesis of Mad Dog came from. It was quoted as being Clive Davis. So please let us know how that happened.
Well, we were promoting the album. We were out in LA, and we were playing at I want to say the Troubadour, but it might have been it was right there in the same area. But anyway, we always did the same kind of thing. Acoustic, Bruce played the acoustic guitar, and then maybe they went, and then we would do Spirit in the Night, and he would play the piano. And after that, he would get the guitar and start playing the guitar, and we'd do Blinded by the Light, whatever we were doing that night. And could not get the guitar amp to work. The other guitar amp that we have for the spare was in the truck 6 blocks away. Because they had to park 6 blocks away. So our show was basically over. Now, the night before this show, all my clothes were stolen. I had a duffel bag and it was stolen out of the car it was in. And I had nothing. So me and Gary Talent went to Salvation Army, and I bought I had some Yankee pants with the pinstripes. I had this beautiful jockey silk, on a nice red bowler. You can see it. There's a video. You can see it. And, so now I lost my place again, damn it. I'm with the bowler and the clothes and Gary. Tell me where I'm going.
Oh, I was asking where you came up with, or where you got the nickname Mad Dog.
So yeah, now I got it. But I'm wearing this on at the show. That the amp don't work. So we get off the stage, and Clive Davis is standing down there. He goes, Vinny, come here. What are you doing? What are you doing? He goes, look at you. What happened? I said, well, I told him the story of my clothes getting stolen out of the car. So he goes, well, listen, I got to ask you questions. He goes, didn't years ago you guys all had nicknames? I said, yeah, everybody kind of has a nickname. He goes, what was yours? And then Dr. Zoom and the Sonic Boom, I was Madman. Okay. So I said, I was Madman. And he looked at me and said, not anymore. You're Mad Dog now. And I kind of felt like saying, gee, thanks, and I'll take karate. So All right, so now I'm Mad Dog. But then Bruce reiterated it a few weeks later. He goes, you're Mad Dog now. So you're going to say, okay, gee, thanks. That's wonderful. So that's how that Mad Dog came around. And it stuck. To this day, hey, I'm the dog. I walk in the room, there I am.
Wow.
Yeah, and in Blinded by the Light, though, it's Madman Drummers and Indians in the Summer.
That's right.
So,
Right.
because,
Yeah, it's all different. So Madman, his doctors, really good. That's
So,
all cool.
so throughout the variations of the band, Child, Still Mill, Bruce Springsteen, at what point in time, Clarence is kind of floating around, he's with Norman. At what point in time, where did Davey come from?
Oh, Sanchez?
Yeah.
We kind of met him when he was a kid at Upstage. And somewhere in there, because everybody kind of moved to Richmond and came back, and then David was there. Danny had some slight problems, so he wasn't there. And Davey was. Davey played, and then it's a thing where you got to, when you're there, you're there. And if Danny was available, he'd have been there. But there was stuff happening.
So one thing I wanted to ask you about was I was reading Peter Ames Carlin's book about Born to Run, but he was describing what the studio conditions were like on the first two albums that you were obviously involved in.
Yeah.
Was it as bad as he lays it out that it was not technically proficient, that you spent a lot of time, correcting, like the piano was out of tune and different things. What was your memories or your impressions of those two albums and the recording of those?
Well, they had the piano. I remember the piano tuner being there, but hey, they wanted it right, and Bruce wanted it right, and like myself, I used my drum set, when we were in there, because I like my drums better than theirs, and dead enough. So, uh, one thing I did, and you can hear this, New York City Serenade. So they're going to be doing it, and it's David and it's Bruce, and they're going to go through the song. So they went through it, and they got to this one part, and they made this timing error. So they did it again, and the same thing happened. So they decide they're going to put me in the drum booth with a conga drum, and all I'm going to do is bop, dun, dun, bop. I'm just going to go bop on the conga. So now I got a microphone, and they cover me with rugs so that my sound, I'm in the drum room, it's supposed to be no sound. Well, guess what? If you listen to that recording, I'm in there because it bled into the piano mics. It went through the wall somehow, and I'm in the background. And then, Richard comes in, and he's doing his thing, Richard Blackwell, because he does the congas on it. And, but you can still hear me just with one note, and they go through it, and there's no timing flaw. I was a metronome at that point.
There was at the symposium, there was some footage of recording the Born to Run, and one thing that jumped out at me was Bruce was doing his normal thing. Somebody's wrong. It's somebody else's fault, whatever. And the camera panned to Gary, and I think Bruce said, like, Gary, I think you were off on that one. And Gary just looked at the camera like, really? Like, this is my problem?
Yeah, no, Gary doesn't say much.
He's a man of few words, but when he speaks, people listen.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's my pal.
So I want to fast forward. One thing I found fascinating when I was doing my research was, so apparently in 1989, Bruce invited you and George Thies and Patty to the fourth annual Hall of Fame induction dinner and ceremony. And if my information is being correct, you were invited up and played on stage behind Little Richard and Keith and Mick and Bruce when he did Crying.
It was something Yeah, it was cool. Bruce inducted Roy Orbison that year, I believe, you know,
Yep. Yep.
and went through and we were sitting right in the dang front. It was something, and there was Bruce was sitting facing like the stage. I'm more on the side, but there was a chair between Bruce and I. And every star that was in the building came up and sat in that chair.
Hmm.
Okay. So I got to talk, say hello to Little Richard. I did. I got to say hello to him. Pete Townsend came and sat there. He stole my pen. He did. He stole my
Wow.
pen. It had a volume on it. It was and Bruce said, "You got a pen, paper, Vic?" Because he said, "You always had something," and I did. I had paper and pen with me. And I gave it to him. I never got it back. I saw it go in his hand and never saw it. Magic it was.
Wow.
But, you know, later on, Bill Graham, at the end of the show, he's going, "Come on, we're gonna have the jam session up there now," you know. And there were two drum sets up there, and Anton was playing, and he said, "Come on, Bruce, come on up." And Bruce goes, because right before when we sat down, Bruce said to me and George, he said, "George, you guys, if I say let's go, you be ready." Right? This is what Bruce says. So I kind of knew what he meant. But at the end now, Bruce is sitting there. He goes, "Let's go." And George kind of felt intimidated because Bill Graham's pulling all these guitar players, you know, famous ones out of the woodwork. George, I think, got intimidated. But I got up there. I was the only other drummer, so I was happy I got to play the set with everybody. You know, it was cool. Stevie Wonder was right in front of me.
Wow.
I've seen video of that.
It was something. And at the end now, Mick Jagger, wasn't at the end, but Mick Jagger did Honky Tonk Women with Tina Turner, right? And we were playing it, right? So now, when you said crying, now they were done. So next thing I know, they're doing it, and Mick Jagger comes behind where I'm sitting, and he leans on me. He doesn't say anything. He just leans on me and listens to the stuff, and then he leaves. That's
Wow.
pretty cool.
Wow.
There is a video of that somewhere.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't know where I have it now or what, but yeah, I have seen that video.
Yeah.
You're right there, and you're right behind Stevie Wonder. I remember that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. It was fun. It was something. It was really, really just something. And then we made a train and went all over the hotel. So,
Speaking of backing up legends, you backed up Chuck Berry, right, at the University of Maryland, 1973 or so?
we played that show. Yeah, it was our band, Jerry Lee Lewis, Chuck Berry. You know, and we had done our sound check. We're in our dressing room, and Chuck Berry comes in the dressing room, and he goes, "Hey, you boys know Chuck Berry's Greatest Hits Volume 3?" You know, we said, "Oh yeah, Chuck, don't worry, we know everything. We know everything." So he goes, "I got two rules when you're on stage with me." He goes, "First rule is," and he takes his foot and he lifts it way up and he slams it on the ground. He goes, "When I do that, you stop." And he goes, "If I call you a goddamn some bitch, you smile." He says to us. So we say, "Yeah, don't worry, Chuck. Don't worry, don't worry." You know. Well, sure enough, we're playing. One of the first things Chuck Berry did was to turn Bruce's amp off. He didn't like anybody else doing Chuck Berry licks.
Ooh.
Only Chuck Berry does Chuck Berry licks. So then we're playing along, and up in the morning, out to school, and that foot goes, and it goes bop, and I went bop. I went, it wasn't bop, bop. And we went back into the song, and then all of a sudden, Chuck Berry is right here on my tom tom. He's right over here, and he's standing there looking at me, and I'm looking at Gary Talent who's right over here, and I'm going, "Gonna call me, top." You know, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I looked at Chuck Berry, and he goes, "Why ain't you smiling?" That's to me, you know. And he went back and started playing. He was having fun. But that was a show where John Lyon came with us. I know he wasn't Southside yet, and he was playing a harmonica off the side of the stage over there. And Chuck Berry heard him and brought him out and gave him a solo. We thought he was going to kill John, but he didn't. He brought him out on stage and said, "You sound like you've been playing across the tracks. Play that out here." And he gave him 2 solos. Yeah, it was cool.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, Chuck did not. I'm a huge Chuck Berry fan. He did not tolerate fools. He wanted to hit things his way,
Oh
and
yeah.
rightfully so. Like he got screwed so a million different ways in his younger days. So he did not tolerate nonsense from anybody.
Nope. And he was him. And I got his autograph in my book, so it was
Seen that? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still have it. Good.
Yeah, what you described is what Bruce I think has said, where he came in and these guys were ready. Like, Chuck, what are we gonna play? Well, we're gonna play some Chuck Berry songs.
Yeah.
What else? What else do you want to say?
That's what you do. I didn't think we were going to do, Rusty Warren or anything. So.
So, Vinny, I was doing some reading and I was a little unclear. So, when you left the E Street Band, did you work with Southside in the Jukes? Were you part of the? Did you ever work with Southside in the Jukes at all?
No.
Okay.
We had a band. What were we called? Oh God, I can't. Van Zandt and Southside and me and Davey Sanchez and Gary. We had a little band when Bruce went to California, but no, I was never in the Jukes or anything.
Okay.
I played with all them guys, but no.
Okay. So Lord Gunner is the next band that it sounded like you were a part of. Is that correct?
Louis Gunther.
Louis Gunther.
Yeah, Lord Gunner. Yes, that's what we called it. But yeah, it was Lance Larson and Ricky DiSarno. They wrote the songs for it. Steve Rava was in the band. And we Lord Gunner. We played at the Pony. We had a good time.
From what I read, Lord Gunner, they said, was like one of the last few bands that didn't get signed that was a powerhouse at that time.
Well, we did. Lance wrote some great songs, and it was fun. It was fun. Some of them were a challenge playing. It was fun. Got to sing. It was and Lance. Plus, he could break 20 glasses over his head. That never hurts to have a guy that can do that.
Well, I want to fast forward to April of 2014.
Yes.
You and the band are inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Okay. Yes.
How did you find out? How did you know that this was happening? Who called you? Did somebody call you? How did you find out?
I got a message from John Landau's office that I was going to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the fellas. And that was basically it. No fanfare, nothing like that. And it took me a few days to figure it out. But then, then it sunk in. It was pretty cool. Then they wanted my stuff. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They were quick. They wanted my stuff, so I gave them a bunch of stuff over my house. Old stuff I could never use again, but it was stuff pertinent to those days. All the early days. So it's there, and it's still there. We go back. The Wonderful Winos till the pandemic. We were playing there every year in August, and we're going to go back. We're trying to get we did these bike nights, they were called it, on Thursdays, and we're going to try and resurrect them maybe once. Go play with Artemis. Us and Artemis Pyle go play. That would be fun.
I would think that's got to be cool that you're a Hall of Famer. Like Mickey Mantle, you're a Hall of Famer. That's pretty cool.
No, it's way cool. I'm like, because everywhere I go, I get asked about it, so I talk about it. So I became like a little mini ambassador for them. I try and do my best to keep it good. You know, we go if they got a new exhibit or something, they'll call, and say, "Hey, would you come out and check out the new exhibit? See what you think of it." And we did that with the one that they got in there now with Bruce and all the Hall of Fame inductee. And it's pretty cool. Inductees are in it, and it's really nice. So and just going there, it's pretty incredible because there's stuff we've gone now for a while, and there's stuff there that we haven't seen yet that we still got to go in and see. And then when it's in Cleveland, actually, we get to go to the show. So, or I do anyway with Dawn, and that's way cool seeing the live show. With all the people there. We were there last year, and it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ozzy was there. Whoa, yeah, man. Not L.A., the one in Cleveland.
I've been to the
But
Hall of Fame at least 10 times, and I could go back every week and still not see there's just so much to see. There's all the exhibits, there's the
yeah.
movies, there's all the exhibits that are constantly rotating out, in and out.
Oh yeah,
I love
Elvis.
it.
They rotate like every 4 months or something. They rotate Elvis, but now they're building a new whole exhibit place next to it. There's a whole new addition
Oh, wow.
going to be going in. So that's coming up too, but it's there. It's in working out. So
I joke that I wish that I could just live there and live in a janitor's closet or something. Give me, I don't care. You don't have to pay me. Just let me live there, and I'll clean the floors. I'll do anything you ask me to
you
do.
want to stay inside in February. I'm going to tell you what right now. So,
Stan?
but yeah, the hall it's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful place.
Vinny, speaking of museums, how do you feel about the Springsteen Archives building that's going to open at Monmouth University?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
We were over there.
yeah.
And I rode by it since then too, and they're making some progress in there, and we'll see how it works out. We'll be back in May, and I got I think some more stuff. I got to figure out what's going on. I got to talk to Bob. He's coming down, so we're going to talk when he gets down here. There's stuff that I got to do. I don't know exactly what it is yet. So whatever it is, I'm in, and honored to be there, way. So we got a good gal that runs it, Eileen Chapman. So
Absolutely.
real happy,
Birthday tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Happy early birthday, Eileen.
I only know that because I had to do the birthday post.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, the building's coming along, Vinny. I think they're shooting for the first week of June. That's not official,
Right.
but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been
You'll
hearing.
you'll be a big part of that too. And
I'll be there.
yeah, yeah.
So, Vinny, on that topic, a couple years ago, you called into Jim Ortolo's Wild and Innocent show, and you talked for a while. You had some discussion about a book, possibly. Is that still in the works? Are you thinking about it, working on it?
Oh no, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Good.
The first chapter that we really worked on hard was the steel mill going to California chapter. So now we're working. There's a lot of stuff. I'm doing a bunch of stuff. I'm going through shows. Which one meant something to me? Do I remember? If I remember something about, I'm doing that kind of stuff. We're working on the early days when I was a kid with my great grandmother, my great grandfather. They were not alive when I was a kid. I just have heard stories about them. So, there's a lot of work. We got too much stuff. I got to edit. We got to take stuff out. Everybody, all my friends are in it. It's not about Bruce. it's about all these guys I played with. That's what it's about. I don't get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because I'm a drummer. I'll tell you that right now. You know, I played with all these guys, all these great guys, all through my life. You know, down here, Tony Hall, I get to play one of the best guys down here in Florida. You know, and we have fun. That's what it's all about. So trying to have fun, you know.
Well, we'd be fascinated to read it. You've had a hell of a life. You've had a hell of a career. You've played with hundreds and hundreds of artists.
Well, and I was a caddy for 30 years.
Right, yeah.
You know, I caddied for a pro golfer too during that time. So there's a bunch of other stuff in there. You know, one guy, my friend Mark, he was young. I had my old station wagon, old Chevy station wagon, and it had a cassette player in there, and I'd play him Steel Mill songs all the way to where we were going and back. So he knows Steel Mill now. But he'd get it in his head while we were playing golf. He was a lefty. He was good. He still is good, Mark McCormick. But yeah, I mean, music's always there, you know, no matter what. But golf, oh God, a lot of stuff I've done. Meeting those guys, people like that. Hey, we did a practice round with Phil Mickelson, you know, and Kuchar. We did a practice round with Cooch, you know. So it's something, you know, and it's something for me, like being there with those guys. They asked me about what it was like playing with Bruce in the early days. It's funny, you know, to me, and I'm going, holy mackerel, that's like Phil Mickelson, you know. So it's funny, all right.
How did you get into golf? Did you start playing when you were younger?
Well, way back in after I graduated high school, I went a year to college at Monmouth College. A semester, not a year, a semester, let's say. Sorry, let's make the distinction there. But in those classes, a lot of the classes I was in, there was a guy there, Joe Lanzetta, his name was, and his father was a pro golfer. And one day I just said, hey, yeah, can I go to the golf course? And I went with him, and they got me some clubs, and he showed me how to play, and I started playing golf like in 1967. And then bands happened, didn't play golf. Was in Maine with Harry King. We were out playing. We were at this golf course. Pro gave us all golf balls and golf clubs. We haven't played in years. Harry King gets a hole in one. We made it into the Bangor Daily News. I get back to New Jersey and got a job at Hollywood Country Club, just cleaning bags and doing the carts and stuff like that. And just led to being caddy master. But during the interim, I met these pro guys and I started caddying for them. You know, I also caddied for the members too, you know, and all their tournaments and everything. But that was a full-time job. And then music was like there too. So it's, you know, with caddying, I'll tell you one thing, you don't get any taller.
So which is your favorite? Playing the drums or golfing or caddying? Golfing yourself.
I wish I could golf like I play the drum. And caddying, hey, it's good for a young guy. That's what I think.
Favorite golf course to play?
Favorite one to play? Hey, we played many years, and it's Spring Meadow in Allaire. It was a county-owned course, and then private people took it over. And, most of the guys that we used to play with are gone now, you know. So, and this year we're going to have some tournaments at Spring Meadow where we all get together and just play. And but it's in Allaire. We call it Spring Ghetto. And but it's a golf course. It's not always in the greatest of shape, but you know what? It'll test. I don't care who you are, it'll test you. It's a golf course.
Sounds like my kind of course. I play a little bit. I've been playing for 40 years. My dad started taking me when I was 5 years old, but I should be a lot better than I am. But I go out and I play to enjoy it. It's nothing serious.
I swing hard in case I hit it.
Have you ever had a hole in one?
I actually did. There's a little, but it really don't count. It was on this par 3 course over on Route 34. What's Bel Air? I think it's
Blair. That's it.
right. They have this 18, and I was out there, and there is a par 4, and I actually knocked a 4-iron in the hole from the tee on the par 4.
Wow.
But it was on a par 3 course. It was only like a 200-yard par 4. You know, my 4-iron goes that far, so I hit it. Hit a good one. Went in the hole. See, most of the time, say, did you ever have a hole in one? And I say, yeah. And then Dawn bought me new socks for Christmas. True story, Joe. True story.
Stan, you got your hand up.
Yeah. The first time I ever saw Bruce in a bar, and thanks to Bruce Space, I know the exact date, April 13th, 1979. It was the Fast Lane in Asbury Park, which is now the parking lot next to Asbury Lanes, right by Danny Clinch's gallery. Anyway, Vinny, you played drums that night with Bruce, a Beaver Brown show. But I remember you got up and played Rosalita with him. And I think I was just as excited seeing you because I had never met you, or I was younger than you guys. So to finally see you, like, that's Mad Dog Lopez and he's playing with Bruce again. I thought that was just so exciting.
Yeah, no, that was fun. But see, it was me and Ricky D. And I think it was John Lyon. We were all sitting at this table over on the side when Bruce came in. He saw us.
Mhm.
So he came over to us and he felt kind of safe, I think. I don't know. He kind of came right in, sat with us. So then he goes, "You want to do it with me?" I said, "Why not? Why not? I don't have a problem doing that, you know." Yeah, I was too jazzy. Let's see how I do now.
Yeah.
But
And
that was you know, it was wonderful. It was great.
yeah, and I remember he jumped up, he hit his head on the light. He almost burned himself because he jumped up on your riser to play with you. So
Yep.
yeah, I was 18 or 19 years old. Wow. And for those wondering, the picture behind me, that is the 3 East Street Band drummers, Vinny Lopez, Boone Carter, and Max Weinberg. And that was taken this past September at Monmouth University. And I'm so glad that shot was taken, Vinny.
Well, yeah, I was because you know it was the Born to Run show with all them guys there, and years before that, when Bruce was inducted into the Hall of Fame, we were all at that show, and Billy Smith took our picture, the 3 drummers, quite the same way we are there, except a little younger, and but. And then when I knew these guys were going to be there, one of my goals was to get a free drummer picture. You know, I thought about it. I said, they're all going to be there. And sure enough, we did it, you know. And there it is. And Eileen took one, and I know Danny Clinch also took one, you know. So I'm just glad to have a copy of it.
Yeah. You may never pass that way again. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Always makes me happy.
Yeah, I was happy too. When I knew Boom was going to be there, you were going to be there, and Max, I was like, they got to get this picture.
Yeah, no, and you know, Boomer, right? We yak occasionally through the years. It's all good.
It's good.
Vinny, there was somebody that had a question for you. Any kind of good caddying memories or favorite stories that you like to share about your caddying days?
It's hard to make the cut in the U.S. Open. That's all I can tell you. Club Pro, we almost did, but it's a tough one. Playing when we did the Open, because I carried the bag, and you had to go. And there was thousands. I never saw so many people. It was at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. So you get up on. You're the next group up. So you're going up on this walkway over where all the people are to get to where the tee is. And you look down, and Tiger Woods is on the tee in front of you with his whatever group they are. And the people down the fairway are 10 deep all the way to the stands. And you go, wow, that's something. They take off. Now you're down there on the first tee. And the people don't leave just because it was Tiger Woods. Phil Mickelson's up next. You know, we're plebes. We were never in the U.S. Open before, you know. But Phil Mickelson's a lefty. The guy I caddy for, Mark McCormick, is a lefty. And they're both older guys. And in our group was the two amateurs that were playing in the U.S. Open, Hostler and Sanchez. Right? And Phil Mickelson goes up to him and goes, hey, the old guys versus you guys. $40 Nassau. Right? So now Mark's up. Yeah. You never saw a guy with millions of dollars grinding over a $40 Nassau. And Sanchez and Hostler beat him by one stroke. And but playing around with Phil was truly something. Hanging out, don't forget, I hung out with Bones, his caddy. Our guys are lefty. We go on the other side of the tee from the Raiders. So I made sure me and Bones were always over here. It was good. But that's a funny caddy story. I don't know.
Do. Vinny, is there anything that we haven't asked you about that you want to talk about, or anything that you want to throw out?
You mentioned, down here, the HEP program, the Homeless Empowerment Program, down here in Clearwater, Florida. And it's a really great organization. People can look it up, I forgot what it is. But anyway, yeah, Homeless Empowerment Program. And they can look it up. And it's great. They got a great thrift store, places that they give people to live. They help you if you're down and out and you want to get a job. They have people there to get you a job. They'll get you a haircut, and they'll take care of your dental work. They got doctors on the premises. It's pretty amazing what they do. I want to mention them. And of course, coming up in downtown Asbury Park is going to be the light of day. All the Winterfest stuff's going on down there. So please go down there, enjoy yourselves. I know you spring nuts are going to do that. But also, you got me down here in Largo, Florida, and a few of you nuts have been down there with us, So if you hear of the Hula Hula Boys playing, down by Largo, Clearwater area, that's me and Tony Hall. So come see us. We're not bad for kids,
Your kids, for sure.
Well, we've really appreciated your time, and we had several comments. People are very impressed with your memory and your
but
detailed your facts.
Don't get old. It's another thing I have going on. Don't get old, you guys. That's one thing that's great about the group. You guys are it's impressive when everybody's together, and you go to a show and there you guys are. It's impressive, and I enjoy it very much.
No, I just want to say that you've been with us from the beginning, and I'm going to tell a personal story that I like to share, and I never will forget it because it was our first serenade ever. And I always say, like, again, I never knew at that point what I was getting myself into. And it was at the Wonder Bar. And then I remember, and it was Stan, actually. Stan told me that, Vini Lopez is coming to the serenade. And for me, it was like, again, my first thing, and I was already nervous as it was because I didn't know what was going to happen. And I'm like, really? And he says, yeah, Vinny's coming. He says he's coming, whatever. And you came, and I remember, and we have video of it. And I'm so glad we got that on video. When you were in the middle of the circle, and you were doing, you were singing "Spirit in the Night" and "Thundercrack," which turned out to be a huge hit in the end, and it became a staple of the serenade every year for you to be part of it. But I remember the first, I never met you before, and it was obviously a thrill. But the one thing I do remember, and this will always say it with him when I one day write my own thing, and I'm never going to forget this, is that I remember speaking for the first time to Spring Nuts, and you were in the audience, and I remember when I came off speaking, you were the first one, or after saying, you shook my hand, and you said to me, Howie, I love you and I always have your back. And you said it, and I remember like never having had a conversation with you yet, but it was just such a, for someone like you to be there was a huge thrill, huge honor. And every year since then you've been there. So it's you are part of that serenade. You on the bus tours. I know when Stan goes on the bus tours during the serenade, it's a major thing. It's part of what we do, and they love you. They really, the Spring Nuts love you.
The bus tours sell out in 5 minutes. They really
Yeah.
do. I feel so bad. Can you get another bus? I said no. So that's it. But they sell out so quick every year. Yeah.
No, they're fun too. I enjoy the bus tours also.
Yeah. Mm.
Well, I do, and I say this to everybody, but I'm also, I very much mean it when I say it to you, is that, over the 10 years, and you've been there with us from the beginning, okay? And, you and Dawn, who we love dearly, by the way.
Yay, Dawn.
Big shout out to
Hey,
Dawn. We got to give Dawn a shout
she's
out.
upstairs yelling.
Yeah, we
Okay,
hear
good.
it. Yeah.
We love Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
We love Dawn. Okay. But I hope, thank you for all your support and your backing and your love and faith in the group and always being in whatever, like I always say this, whatever you're doing down in Florida, whatever we can do to help and, get you guys out there, we're here for that. And I just wanted to thank you personally for
Well,
everything you
no,
do for
thank
us.
you guys, and hope I did all right tonight.
You did great.
You did fantastic. Great
Thank-
stories.
I think the
Vinny,
old man came out in me, but that's all right.
That's
Rennie,
all
write
right.
that book.
Oh no, that's going to be something when it's got to be edited down. We're going to do it, and then we're going to find. We don't even have a publisher yet, so we're looking. We're going to be looking for a publisher to see what it is, but it'll be about my buddies.
Good.
It'll be about them, all of them.
and
Very
Vinny,
cool.
just so you know, you and Dawn are getting a lot of love from all the people watching on Facebook and commenting. And I'm seeing several comments here about your kindness over the years and talking to everybody. So truly, your presence and your involvement in the community means a lot to everybody.
I'm with you guys. Simple. I don't have a problem with that at all.
You're a Hall of Famer in every sense of the word.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We'll see book signings in your future, maybe at a serenade or at the
Oh
Springsteen
no,
Archives.
we'll figure something out. If something's going on, you're going to know about it. I'll tell
That's
you
right.
that. I'm not. I don't think I can keep my lips shut. So.
Sometimes we know it before you. Sometimes we know it before you know it.
Yes, that's right. You might know something I don't know. Hey. I get your drift. It's all good, buddies. All
And
good.
tell Dawn that she's being crowned as Saint Dawn.
Saint Dawn.
Yeah, Saint Dawn.
Oh my goodness. I'm on the other end of that. My feet are burning.
Lynn, he is down in Clearwater area. Where do you is there a bar or a restaurant that you guys play at when you play with what do you call it? The Hula Hula
The
Boys?
Hula Hula Boys. Yeah, we're the 16th. It's a Friday night. We're at a place right here in Bel Air Bluffs. It's called Seaweed, and it's on West Bay, I think it is, Avenue. It's called Seaweed. We're there from 6 to 9. Me and Tony Hall. We played probably two sets, long ones. So
I know you have a
so
Facebook page. Do you put when you're playing, do you put any information on Facebook?
that's where it goes, just on my page. Yep.
Okay.
If I'm doing something, it's going to be on there. And I tag some people, see what happens. And we've been. It's really Seaweed is a place where we play at 6, so I get there at 4:30, and the parking lot has got like 5 cars in it. Well, by 5 o'clock, you can't get a parking spot, and there's a line to get in the door. It's really inside is big and beautiful, so there's a lot of people there. And we play outside in this little veranda area, and it's nice.
What do you guys like to play together when you're playing? Do you play you playing rock, pop?
Oh,
What are you playing?
yeah, we do. We do all kinds of stuff. I mean, Tony has. Well, he brings one, but he has 6 songbooks. They're all like this. They're thick and they're handwritten. And he's been playing down from the '80s, and he's got all these songs in it now. Yeah, we do all kind. John Prine. Okay, we do not hits by Jimmy Buffett. We do um, Billy Joel. We do Warren Zevon. We do. I can't stop naming the stuff. The other day there was a couple brought their kids in. We did Superman. I got them dancing. It was good. So if we got kids, we make them. The kids start dancing. We make them stay there.
Sorry, Stan. I got a question. But didn't Vinny do an amazing version of Incident during the was it Incident that he did at the symposium?
He did Meeting Across the River.
Meeting Across the River. That's
yes, my favorite song.
Phenomenal.
Yes,
phenomenal. I remember seeing a video. I wasn't there, but I remember seeing a video of that. That was phenomenal.
Thank you. No, it was something they really didn't have anything to do with Born to Run.
Doesn't matter, but you did
well,
that.
But they Eileen called me and said, "Hey, you get the first choice of songs you want to do. So, what do you want to do?" And I thought about it, and they got Roddy, and they got James Maddox, and they got all these guys on the show that can handle all kinds of good stuff. And I just thought, I'm going to do Meeting Across the River. All I need is a piano, a bass, and a trumpet. And all I had to do was learn. I tried to sing it in his vernacular, if you know what I mean. That's all my way, but I tried to do it in his vernacular. So, and it worked.
Yeah, I remember they were posting it. They were posting it in the group a lot that day. I remember seeing. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't there, but I remember them posting it in the group, and everyone was going. Like, even when I'm saying it now, everyone's saying in the comments, "It was a phenomenal performance by Vinny."
Well, thank you.
My lord, my lord. No, you did that. It was a beautiful version. I remember it was gorgeous.
And and then we had to do 2 songs each. So I did the Warren Zevon Tearjerker, Keep Me in Your Heart.
Yeah.
Right after that. And that was another one.
Yeah.
So, but I'll tell you, I really enjoy singing. To me, that's how I started singing. In Catholic school, doing mission shows, sending money to the missions, getting on the stage, singing Kingston Trio songs,
Wow.
singing Trini Lopez songs. That's why I spell my name Vinny, like I do, Vini, because I sang Trini Lopez songs, Trini.
That's wild.
And I was in 7th grade when I started. I changed the spelling of Vinny, Vinny, or however I started spelling Vini. Then it's in there. There's grammar school picture of me. I signed it.
Vincent, is that a family name? Where does that come from?
My father's Vincent, so I was named after him. But I was also born on St. Vincent's Day. So
Stan,
I believe
somebody's
it's St.
asking.
Vincent's Day. So it's close.
Stan, somebody's asking, can that version of Meet Meeting Across the River? Is it available anywhere?
It's
Or is
probably
it...
on YouTube. I would think
Okay.
it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'll see
I've seen portions of it. I've never really seen the whole thing, to tell you the truth. I'd love to see that. So
Yeah, we gotta find. I know it's posted in the group somewhere. I'll do a search for it and see if I can repost it for you guys.
but
Vinny-
no, that was it was so cool, and thank them for inviting me to do that and coming out and being with all them guys and gals that were singing there. It was pretty impressive, as far as I was concerned. They all did a magnificent job. Everybody in that show.
It was an inspired choice, Meeting Across the River. That's not something that most people would gravitate towards. And it's got one of my favorite lyrics of all time, which is "Change your shirt, because tonight we got style."
Hey,
Yep.
that's my favorite too. My favorite Springsteen lyric. And every time Bruce plays that, there's always applause after that line. Listen to any live recording.
Yep.
Cheer. Great line.
I don't know if we've talked about this, but in the Carlin book, that almost didn't make the record.
Mm.
Bruce and John wanted either Lonely Night in the Park or Linda Let Me Be the One, and Mike was like, "Are you guys fucking nuts? Like, what are you thinking?" So Mike's the one that put his foot down. Otherwise, we may never have had Meeting Across the River.
Right. Well, no, it's a great song. And I enjoyed singing it very much. I really learned it the day before and that day going to the show.
It was beautiful.
That's how I do my best work. I can't learn it 2 weeks ahead. It's like if we're gonna have a rehearsal for the band, it's like the night before we're gonna play.
Yeah.
Otherwise, my old ass don't remember all that stuff.
All right. Well, Vinny, we really truly appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. This has been phenomenal. Don't worry, you did a great job. We really appreciate you taking the time and sharing everything that we've asked you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure meeting you there, Ryan, and pleasure being with everyone here. And Stan, keep the bus tours up. Julie, watch that other guy. Okay, keep him in line.
Yeah,
And,
give Dawn a big hug and kiss for me. I miss her.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be around. But if you get to Florida, you know where we are. You can find me on Facebook. It's really the only place I do anything. And then the wonderful winos, watch us. We're booked for the summer up there. So this summer.
When do you come back? In the spring? When do you normally come back?
We come back in May. I start playing in June in the different places. But we come back at some point in May. We drive. I don't. It takes me a while. I'm not driving all the time anymore. Let's go here and stop. Yeah, okay. Who's going to fire me? Nobody.
Thank you so much, Vinny.
Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you.
All right.
All
right. We love you, Vinny.
Everybody watching at home, thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you further down the road.
Thank all the spring nuts out there. Woohoo!
Yes. Good night.
You got a lot of fans out there, Vinny. You got a lot of fans, you and Dawn.
Yep.
I love them. We love them.
All right.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Be well.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Take care.
guys.
Thank
Keep
you.
in touch. Keep in touch.
Definitely.